Hi everyone, Jeffrey here, and welcome back to Around the World in Many Days. Today's episode is number 45 and it's titled Turn Back the Clocks. And today we will be solving a Slitherlink puzzle, and that is on the screen right now. But as always, let's just read what Gladys has to say first. So we are traveling somewhere in the world, and this is what we're looking for. So, dear puzzling, this is a Slitherlink puzzle. Draw a single continuous loop along grid lines that does not cross itself. Numbers indicate how many sides of the numbered cell are used for the loop. Ignore the gray lines and letters when solving the Slitherlink. That refers to this one, which has two puzzles in the same grid, basically. So these black numbers are the Slitherlink, what's relevant to the Slitherlink, and then this green background stuff is what I have in a separate window in the top right. So that's what we can ignore for now when doing the Slitherlink. Ignore the gray lines and letters when solving the Slitherlink. Those form a background puzzle that helps you find the final answer in the end. And then the destination that we're looking for. Today I have visited a uniquely beautiful aquatic ecosystem. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to dive in, but that may be for the best from a conservation standpoint. Can you guess where I am? Love, Gladys. Okay, so we're looking for some kind of aquatic environment that's unique in some way. And what else do we have? Of course, we have the solve link, which I have open in a separate window. And there's also a link to the image, which I have open in the top right. So just the background stuff in a separate window. And then I think first time in this puzzle, we have actually hints that we can reveal by clicking here on this gray area. We're not going to do that just yet, but will later on. So let's look at how we go about solving a Slitherlink. So let's open the grid, and so we need to make one loop that goes around some cells of the grid, and these numbers indicate how many sides are used for that loop. So that 3 could be something like that. That would be valid. So that's 3 sides. 3 of the 4 sides of 3 are used for the loop. That one could be that or that, but it couldn't be like this because this would be a 2 using the 2 sides there. So pretty simple rule set. Let's look at what we can start with in this one. So when you do a lot of Slitherlinks, you get to learn certain patterns, and some are maybe easier to spot than others. A good place to start is to look at the corners. Corners are pretty useful. For example, this 3 here, we know something about this corner immediately when we know it's a 3. Namely that if you think of the empty side of the 3, well, it can't be this one because we can't get this end of the loop out then if it was like this. And it can't be this one for the same reason. We can't get this side of the loop out. So basically, if there's a 3 in the corner, we can already fill in these two. Similarly, which might be harder to see, is this 2 here. So 2 can be in a corner in 2 different ways. Obviously, if this side is part of the loop, this one is as well. And if this one isn't, then this one isn't either. So this 2 has 2 options. It's either this or it's this. Those are the only 2 options for this 2. And similarly for that 2 in this corner, it's either this or this. Now what's common to those? Both of those, where are they going to continue next? So if it's like this, obviously we can't use this side next. That would make this 2 or 3. So we have to continue this way. And same here, we couldn't make this a 3, so we would have to continue this way. So these 2 lines would be drawn either way. But if it's the other configuration for the 2, so if we fill the corner this way, now this can't again form a 3 by going this way, so it must continue here and it must continue here. So either way we fill this 2, these lines are going to be there. And these surrounding numbers don't matter at all. So any 2 in the corner is going to have this line and this line. because it's going to be either this or this. Only two options. So that allows us to put some of these lines in that we don't really know how they connect, but we know those components need to be there. Now, what about this 3 here? Now, it's diagonally to this 3, and that limits the options of this 3 somewhat, in that we can't use both of these sides, because now if we use both of these sides, that means, do I have an X marker here? Oh, I do, yeah. So if I mark X's where we can't put lines, now we have X's on both sides of this 3, and this is at most a 2 now. So that's illegal. So we can't use both of these sides, which means one of these is empty, and that's the only empty side the 3 has. So these remaining ones, this and this, have to be filled then. And again, it doesn't matter that this is a corner 3. If we had a 3 here and here, we could still make these corners, because we can't, if we have a 3 and a 3 like this, we can't put this corner here, which would rule out two of the the 4 options, and would make that number at most a 2. In fact, if we have a corner here, like for example, if this 3 had a corner here, that's very helpful with this 2, because now we know these can't be filled, so we know that's a 2, that's filled like this, and that filled like this. So it's sort of, you can have these chains of 2s, but obviously that's speculation. We didn't have that yet, so let's take out all the stuff we don't actually know. But this we knew, so we couldn't fill in both of these. So one of these is going to be empty and one is going to be filled. We don't know which, and same with these, obviously. Now, where do we go next? Let's look at these tiny lines here. These are going to be useful. They might not look useful, but we can actually say something about this one, and we can say something about this one. Let's start with the 1. What is going to be the next continuation for this piece of the loop? Now it has to continue. It has 2 options. It can go here or it can go here. Either way it does that, it fills this 1. So it fills out one side of the 1. And that's the only side the 1 can have filled. So either of these is going to be the filled side, and these 2, which are the remaining options, are going to be empty. Because we can't fill this side, because now there's no way to continue this loop, because this 1 is already done. So these are empty, which means now this side of the loop only has one way to go. Can't go there, can't go there, only way is down. And this 3 now has an empty side, and that's the only empty side a 3 can have. So here we are. Should we mark, actually, let's mark everything with these crosses, everything that can't be a line. Obviously we can't, maybe I should have explained, we can't do this, we can't branch out, so that's why I can mark these corners with X's. And any corner can be marked with this X's, indicating that that cannot be a line. Now we get to what I actually mentioned a bit earlier. So once we have this corner pointing at 2, that creates a chain reaction here. So these can't be, neither of these 2 can be filled, and the 2 only has 2 sides remaining, so those both have to be filled. And again, what did I do there? Sorry about that. Again, we have a corner pointing at a 2. These can't be filled, so the corner has to keep pointing this way. And again, these can't be filled. Now the 1 is less useful. We can't fill in either of these. Obviously, it's going to be one of them, but not both. But it's still going to continue here. We can continue. Obviously, that's wrong, or could be right, but we don't know. But either way, this one comes into this point. Let's say it's here. Now, this 3 is not going to have a corner here. Now, even just not considering where we're coming from, if we have a corner here, this 1 can't be filled, right? So this corner we can't fill both of these sides, which means the empty side of the 3 has to be one of these two, this one or this one. So it can't be this and can't be this. So those both must be filled because of this one. And now we have a corner here. Again, 2 can be filled in, and we can mark these as X's as well. Now, does this chain actually continue all the way down? And weirdly, yes, it does. Because even though we don't know where this one is, it could be, obviously there's 2 options. But either way, it's filled. If it comes like this, it can't take this, so it has to go right. And if it comes from there, it can't go up because that would make this 1 or 2. So it must go to the right. So any way we fill this one, we are arriving at this intersection, and we have to go right. And from here, obviously, only one way to go. So we could fill all of these sort of diagonal numbers in at least partially. We can't fill in all of them yet, but we had something that we could deduce from each of these numbers. Now these 2s are already filled. We can see these sides are empty. Oops, here we are. So this must also be a corner pointing that way. Now there's no number there, so we can't continue that. But we know these lines must be part of the loop. Now then, how about where this line goes now? This line comes from here, can't go this way, would run into this corner and make a branch out in 2 different directions. We can't do that. So it's here or here. There are 2 options, which we don't know which one it is, but we know that the only side of the one that is part of the loop is one of these 2. So neither of this and this, neither of these are part of the loop. And now effectively we have a 3 in the corner. So 3, similarly to here, if it takes this side, it must take this side as well, because that's the only way to continue from this corner. Now it must take one of those sides, because there are only 4 sides and only one is allowed to be empty. So obviously we're not going to have that, because now this side has nowhere to go, and we're not going to have that because this has nowhere to go. So what I'm saying is neither of these can be empty. So it must come from here and go there. And now what can we say? Can we say something about this one? Not yet, because this doesn't have to continue into the one, this end of the loop. It could go into the 2 here. What about this one? I don't think we can still, because this could go up. But here we have a similar configuration. Maybe we should have noticed this immediately once we filled in these, that there are two 3s diagonally next to each other. So let's go through that one more time. The thing we can't do is this. We can't fill in both of these, because now this 3 has 2 empty sides and it can only have 1. So one of these is going to be empty, which means these can't be empty. And the same story here, that's illegal. So one of these is going to be empty, which means these aren't. So let's mark some X's here, here, and here. And now this X prevents this little piece of the loop from going down. So it has to go to the right, and that fills in this 2. So these must be empty now, which means this side of the loop must go up and then to the right. And then this one here, yeah, there are a couple places to continue here. This one here, we know it's either this one. The side that's filled for this one is either this one or this one, because those are the only 2 options for this end of the loop to continue. So one of these is going to be filled, which means these are empty, both of these. And we know something about this 3 too. So what we can't do is fill both of these, because that's not how you continue the loop. The loop has to be like, you can't branch off there in 2 different directions. So one of these sides is going to be empty, which means these aren't empty because there's only one empty side in a 3. Now we have a corner pointing at the 1, so we can mark these x's here. One of these is going to be filled. Is that important? It is important because now if we do this, if this side of the loop goes this way, there's no possible way to fill the 1. So this, because this would be an x and this would be an x, and that this would be a 0 then. So that's illegal. So we can't actually go in this direction. And once we have 2 empty sides allocated for this 2, we can fill in the remaining sides because it has to have 2 filled sides as well. So that's filled. Do we know where it goes? It goes down, filling the 1, or it could go here. Yeah, that still works. If it goes here, we must draw this as well because that's the only way for this to go, but we don't know. Both of those still work. What about this one? Now there's a corner here. So if we go here, we have to take this as well. Now we can't take both of those because this is a 1. And this, if we, which tool do I have? Here we are. So if we do this, we have to do that. That's illegal. This is not a 2, it's a 1. So we can't go into this corner at all. So these are both empty. Which means, do we know which one of these we are filling? I don't think we do. Not yet. We know we can't make this line because this line has 3 sides. Three of the 3 ways to continue, all are blocked. All are illegal. So we can't go into this set of 3 x's. So that can be marked as an x as well. Now, where do we go? Can this still be a corner? I think it can. If we do this, then we have to make this a corner, and that still works. That's fine. Let's see. So one of these, this one or this one, is going to be the second filled side of the 2. So either way we do that, if we come from there, we have to continue this way. Or if we come from there, we can't make this a 3 now. So we have to continue this way. Either way, this is filled. That doesn't really help us with this one, I don't think. This seems to work, and this seems to work as well. So we know this is part of the loop, but it's not really that helpful. What else do we know? Do we know about this corner? We can go this way. Yeah, this still works, because this could go here. I don't think this corner is solvable yet. One thing we can also do, which we haven't which we haven't used yet, is how many ends of the loop are in an area. So if there's a closed off area that has sort of you have to have an even number of these ends in a closed off area. So if you're closing off an area so that it has an odd number of these ends, well, you can't connect them all because one is going to be left without a pair, and that's prevents you from filling the loop. But I don't think we have it here because this isn't closed. Like this could join these others, but it could also get out, and this one could also join the others, or it could get out. So it's not that useful here, I don't think. Let's see. Here we have a 1, and this end of the loop is going down or to the left. So one of these is going to be the filled side of the 1, which means we can mark these 2 x's. But not only that, not only can we mark these 2 x's, making 1 empty side for this 2. Now that's not enough because we need 2 empty sides to determine the 2 filled sides, basically. But we also know that this can never be part of the loop now because this end would have nowhere to go. Can't go up, can't go to the right. So this is also an x, and now we have 2 empty sides for this 2, so we can fill in the 2. This side, this end has to continue this way. This end has 2 options. These are x's, and can we figure out these 2 now? Maybe not. So one of these is going to be filled and one of these two. But does it have to, do these have to connect actually? Let's think about that. If this gets out this way, then I don't think it works because these connect, but then these have to connect as well. That's illegal. We can't make this separate mini loop there. Could it escape this way? I think that works actually because this 2 would then be like this and then this 3 would. That seems fine. So it's not that. Don't think we know about this 2 yet. What do we know about? Let's look at, oh, this 3, that has been there for a bit. So we have an empty side for this 3 here. So we can fill in the 3 other sides. Here, these are now x's and these are now x's because they're at a corner. Now this 2 has 2 empty sides, so that can be filled in, and that's an x. Where does this go now? Still has 2 options, I think. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This end has to come down, so now we can't go this way anymore, so it has to go down. So that's the filled side of the 1. Can't come from here because this would be a dead end, so that's an x. Can't go here because that's a dead end, so that's an x. And now we have 3 empty sides for a 1. That means that's the only remaining option. Okay, so we have this corner covered now. Do we know how this 2 is filled? If we go here, I don't think this works for the same reason we had this stuff in this corner. If we go here, have to go up and then fill in these 3s, and that's an illegal shape. That's just a mini loop there. So what did I do? Oh, yeah, I was showing this corner there. So can't go here. So that has to be an x. We could go there. In fact, we must go there because the 2 has 2 empty sides. So fill in these 2 remaining ones. That's an x. Now that's a dead end again. So that's an x, which allows us to. Let's come back to this actually, this one, because we were doing this one and we made this corner, which makes this an x, and now we have an x next to a 3, which makes these 3 sides fillable. And I think we can even figure out this 3. If we do this, where's this end going? It's a dead end, so it can't fill in that. So that's an x, which means this is filled, and now this end only has one way to go. It has to go up. And yeah, that's this side filled. Now let's come back to this one. So since this is an x now, this end of the loop has to go up or to the left. So one of these is going to be the filled side. So that means that's an x and that's an x. And this one is a dead end, which means a couple of things actually. We have this 2, which has 2 x's next to it. So we have to fill the remaining sides, this one and this one. Mark that with an x. And also this one has 3 empty sides now, so we can fill in the remaining one. Now, do we know about this one here? Could go here or here. No, could go here or here, right? Those are the options. Don't think we know yet, but this one can be solved because there's a corner here, and that must be an x, which means we have a filled side there, which means mark some more x's. And once you've done a couple of these puzzles, obviously you don't need to mark everything with an x. I think it's just easier for showing why we're doing certain things. But in real life, you wouldn't use this many x's in the grid. Anyway, we marked an x there next to a 3, and these 3 sides must be filled then. Now this end only has one way to go. It has to go there. Now it can't go down and can't go to the right, so it must go up, which makes this an x, and now this 3 can be filled. So we are good on this side. That's an x, that's an x. And now, okay, now this is a dead end. Since we marked these x's here, this is a dead end, can't get out of there, so that's an x. So this one can be filled in. which makes this an X. Well, we filled in the 3 already anyway, so but we can mark that as an X anyway. So we can't go here. So this end of the loop must go to the left, can't go up because this is illegal. So and can't go down, so we must go to the left. This one again must go to the left. Still can't go connect these, but now this could go up, and this must go down. In fact, it can't go up and it can't go to the left. It must go down. Now, how are we filling this two? I think there's still two. Are there two options? This is legal, seems to work. We connect this, but I think this doesn't work now. Because now this has to go to the left, and this makes an illegal shape with the 3's here. So vertically doesn't work, so horizontally. This has to be horizontal, and once it is, these are X's, and that must continue this way and this way. That's an X, and this 3 can be filled in. And this corner makes this an X, and this 3 can be filled in as well. So that was that corner. Done. Now we can actually see this had a couple of options, but now that we filled in this side of the loop, now these can't connect now, because if we do this, now that's an entire loop, and we haven't reached any of these numbers here. So this is illegal, can't connect these. So this must go straight. This must go straight. Again, can't connect these. So this again must go straight. Now this doesn't have to go straight. Again, it can go up. But now we are reaching this 3 finally. So can't go there, because that's the corner. Must take one of these, and only one. So one of them is going to be empty, which means these two on the other side must both be filled. That means that's an X. Now, can this ever go down here? If we go down, how are we connecting to the rest of the grid? I don't think we are. So we can't go down. And one way to see it, a very simple way to see it is this is an X because of this corner, this is an X because of this corner, and now this is a dead end. So that's an X, and we must go that way. And now we must connect either here or here. But we can't connect here. If we connect here, I think this is still an entire loop, and that's filled in too soon because we haven't filled in all of these numbers. So this is in fact an X. Obviously that's an X. So this end of the loop only has one way to go. That's there. Now this end can only go up. This end, still a couple of options actually. Yeah, I don't think we can. No, we can continue here. Oh, maybe that was there earlier. It definitely was there earlier. So this end has two X's. 2 of the 3 ways it can continue are X's. So it must go here. And now making this an X because it's next to this corner here. So this end of the loop has to go to the right now. And now it should be pretty straightforward. Now this end of the loop can't go here. Can't go here. Like it could do a bunch of stuff here, but it can never get out of this area. If we do this, how is it ever getting back here? It can't. So not like it could go something like this, but it doesn't matter. It couldn't get out. So in fact, that's an X. And like if you have trouble seeing it, you can just fill in this. So this is next to a corner, and no, I don't think you actually can. I don't think any of these could be filled like in isolation. But once you see that if you fill in this, you can't get out. Yeah, maybe you have to zoom out a little bit and look at that as sort of not individual cells, but actually like routes to get out. But if you go here, I mean, I think it's pretty plain to see that you cannot never get out. This end could never get out of this area. So that's why we can mark this as an X. And therefore this has to go down. That's an X. That's an X now because we have two sides of the two filled. And now remember, this 2 had two options. It can no longer be like this. Can no longer be like this, so it must be filled the other way, this way. And now, same here with this end of the loop. I mean, we can we can see that when we draw this, it's finished. But just to make it clear, if we go here, obviously we can't get out. So that's why there are no other solutions available. So we have to go to the right, and that should finish off the puzzle for us. So that is, close that. That is the Slitherlink done. And now this one went unsolved for quite a bit because I think maybe I didn't give enough clues or any clues at all about what to do with the background stuff. But the background puzzle is here on the right hand corner, and this is the same size grid. Maybe it's not visible. Let's see. This is the same size grid as the Slitherlink, which is 9 by 9. Which one is it? 9 by 9. It doesn't really matter. But the point is that these were in the same grid as the Slitherlink. We have these corners, and then we have some kind of circle and some letters. Now, this is not an existing puzzle type. This was just made for this puzzle, and that's probably why people had trouble figuring out what to do here. But that's why, and that's why I added a hint afterwards. And let's just read the hint and see what it says, so we can figure out what to do with these clocks. So open up the puzzle here, and then hints. So we can click on this, and it says the clock shapes can rotate but not move. Only the ones matching the Slitherlink solution are relevant. So we can turn these around, but we can't move them to a different square. Now, how does a shape like this match the Slitherlink solution? Now, the way to do this is to think about these corners. So we can turn these around, and we can try to match them to the loop that we drew. So let's just put these. What color should I use? Let's try red. Whether it's visible. Not sure whether red is visible enough. Is blue any better? Let's do black and red actually. I'm gonna just briefly just mark these all as black and then use red for so it's clear that we can see which ones are part of the loop and which ones are the sort of background puzzle stuff. I didn't want to start with the black, by the way, because I don't think the checker recognizes the black line. It has to be the green one when you fill it in, so that you see that it's correct. But anyway, so let's try red now. I think now it's, wow, just don't erase stuff. Okay, so so here we are. Let's just draw these in. So this one was here. Then there are 3 empties, 1, 2, 3, and then there's one here. Then this one is 2 diagonally, so it's this one. And then we have this one in the corner there. Not the corner, but the grid border. Then we have one here, and then 2 diagonally from that one. So 1, 2, and I want to say here 3, 3. Yeah, looks good. And then 1 diagonally from that would be here. Okay, so we can see that some of these match the Slitherlink. So this corner exists in the Slitherlink. This one exists, and that's it. But now, if we can turn these around, we can make others sort of match this Slitherlink as well. So this can't match. If we turn this around, I mean, it would be like this, or like this, or like this, but it wouldn't match the Slitherlink. And the hint said that only the ones matching are relevant, so we can ignore this one. How about this one? If we turn it, we can get to here, we can get to here, or we can get to here. But either way, doesn't match the Slitherlink. This one is already fine. It's already an existing part of the loop. Here we can turn this around, so we can make it like that, or like that, or like that. And the last one perfectly fits what we have in the Slitherlink. Here we can't do it because neither of these sides are used for the Slitherlink. Doesn't matter how we turn it, it's not part of the loop. And this one can't do it either, because either way we do it, it's not part of the Slitherlink, and we should actually mark the Slitherlink loop again. So the last one was here, but it's not. Sorry, did I just make an error there? Let's just go back. I said something silly there. Yeah, I marked that wrong. That might have been it. Yeah, I marked it in the corner, but it's not in the corner. It's actually there. So let's just put it in the right place. It's actually here, and I think it can work now. So if we turn this, we can go this way. If we turn it around this corner here, it does fit this Slitherlink. So sorry about that. It was just in the wrong place. Now we found out this doesn't fit, this doesn't fit, and this doesn't fit. But we found 4 ones that do. Is it 4? This one, this one, this one, this one. But there are 8 here. Are we missing something? This one is here, that didn't fit. This one is here, that didn't fit. This one is here, which fits. This one is here, which fits. This one, we haven't drawn in this yet. So that's what we were missing. So this is 3 empties from, now careful here. So it was originally like this, 3 empties and then here. Okay, so this is the remaining one. This one, and we can turn it this way and then this way, and that looks like it fits the Slitherlink. Now, how on earth are we going to use this to know where we are then? Well, it said we can ignore the ones that don't match the Slitherlink. So I'm going to remove this, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this. So these 5 clocks now are relevant here. So let's mark the letters that we have for each clock in the grid and see what we have. So I'm going to mark, how do I get letters here? Let's use red letters. Wow, red is terrible. How about this? Yeah, maybe this is better. Not sure how visible that is on my screen. Oh, actually, I know. We can use these. We can use these background colors. So I think we can do, or maybe even black. And yeah, this is extra clear that that's a letter now. So this one was not used. It was here. This one was not used. Now this one with the J, E, L, and O was used, and it's used as is. So we didn't have to turn this anyway. So this J remains here, this E remains here, this L remains here, and this O remains here. Now then, this clock here, clock shape, was turned, and it was turned 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So this A is now here, this L is now here. So easy to make an error here, by the way. This Y is now here. This F is now here. It would be easier if Penpa had sort of like a mechanic for turning things, but I have to sort of keep track of these myself. So there is a move. There is a move tool, so I can actually move these around, but I can't sort of turn them as one whole thing. So anyway, I think we can keep track of where which letter is. So this corner now has been turned 180 degrees, so half a turn. So we turn this. So two turns basically. It doesn't matter which way you turn. So this P is actually here. This I is actually here. This H is here, and then this S is here. And then what else did we have? This one is used. That's here. That's this one. That's the second to last one. And we have, this is not rotated at all. So we have AH and we have NK. And then this last one was turned 90 degrees clockwise, right? So this H goes all the way here. This L goes up. This A goes to the right, and this E goes down. Does that look like it fits? I think it does, because now we have something, we have the correct solution in the grid. Now this doesn't spell out anything. Jela Lojif Pish Ahla Nke. Now, I mean, we have had some crazy names, geographical names in this series, but I promise you that's not the answer. So what we can do, in addition to using the loop here to determine how to turn these clocks, we also have to use the loop to limit out some of these letters. So let's just paint everything black that's not inside the loop. Ah, man, that doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Not making them black then, but we are then deleting everything that's not inside the loop. So this O is outside. This A is outside. By the way, this was not indicated in any way. You just have to try different things and see what makes an actual answer here. This H is on the outside. All of these letters are on the outside. This P is on the outside. And now once we take those out, these remaining letters do spell out something sensible. So JELLYFISHLAKE, Jellyfish Lake. And that is a place. And we are going to look up where that is now. So that's the jellyfish. That is actually a photo from Jellyfish Lake. And that is in Palau. I wanted to open that one first. So Jellyfish Lake in Palau, which is a sort of closed ecosystem with a huge number of jellyfish living in that lake. And you used to be able to swim there as a tourist, but now you can't, which, fair enough. So yeah, let's look at the map then, which I had. Yeah, okay, I didn't show the map. The map last time. So last time we were in Taroko National Park in Taiwan. Before that we were in Hong Kong, Taiwan. That was the last one that we didn't show, and now we're in Palau. So here we are in the Pacific Ocean, tiny islands next to the Philippines. So that is our destination this time. Now, episode 46, we are in a sort of odd situation in that I actually don't know the name of the next puzzle. It's going to be a cryptic crossword, a sort of, for once, a sort of normal crossword, just a cryptic crossword, no like side puzzle, no extra rules, just solve cryptic clues and find the answer. And that's basically it. And if I scroll down to the end of this one to find out what it's called, it just says Gladys will return, because I haven't come up with a good name yet, but I will. So I will see you for episode 46 next. And for this one, thanks for watching.